As Christ speaks, the eternal principle, Jesus Christ, coming to you from the beyond and into this point of time, giving you love and blessings, and happy to answer your questions. So, dear Mike and dear Swasi, what can I do for you today?
Thank you. Greetings, and thank you so much for being in our presence. Thank you so much.
So now that we're getting in the space of love, I thought I'd reverse my question since we're getting into love first. I wanted to ask kind of a joint question for Jesus to address, because I always thought when we were together, I would say, Krishna brought us together. Krishna is the reason we started talking, but I never asked the question because I know Jesus was there too. Like, how did Jesus play the orchestral part in us meeting and us bonding? And because I know when I talked to my dad, who's very close to Jesus himself, he's like, when you get to know Jesus, it's a very much like it's not like a spiritual type of love. He's like he loves you like it's like a more like a romantic love. Like he wants all your heart. He wants all your because Jesus's love is so big. So I want to know your part with you and me.
And are you the Christ? Are you the Jesus? Are you both?
What I am is the eternal principle of love, and the particular part of love that I express and that Krishna expresses is the love of the sustainer. It's the love of the energy that is keeping up, connecting, and maintaining in all existence. And for that reason, I also brought you together, and I brought humanity together in the idea of connection itself, in sustaining reality itself. And for that reason, I keep coming back in whatever shape and whatever form it takes in order to be able to let reality live, so to speak.
Thank you.
Okay. Would you say this is like I guess a sub question on that question? Would you be more of like a loving dad or kind of like an eternal matchmaker for me and Swath?
I like your phrasing, and you may sense that rather than I'm the Father Creator, I am the eternal matchmaker. It's a very, very nice expression because that expression amplifies what it is about my energy, which is always a heartful relation. And that's why you may sense, as you correctly phrase it, Mike, that it is a loving connection. I want all of your heart because I am the eternal heart opening. The sacred heart is what I bring about and what I speak to and what I come of in reality itself. So the heart center is also energetically speaking, it is the intersection of the lower and the higher triangle. So in the Star of David, there are these two principles of descending love and ascending power, and they come together in the match made in heaven, or in the heart of the heavens, so to speak.
It's beautiful.
Okay, I will go next. Thank you, Christ, and thank you, Jesus. If we want to know the Christ and Jesus, like, are they one and the same? Like, how do I pray to you if I want to like pray to the Christ? Like, what's the best way I call upon you so that I feel oneness with you?
Yes. The Christ is the eternal part of me, and that is also the Krishna. It is the part of me that exists beyond time and space. In that way, it is the eternal incarnated God, and that you can connect to by either speaking my name or by holding that flame alive in your heart. And you can see this as a living, glowing flame. It is a pulse. It is much like the on-beat of your heartbeat. It's that thing which fills you up and expands within you and allows you to become one with the world and eternal divine love at once. So that's the Christ. And if you're looking for more of a companion, for someone to understand your troubles, you can connect to the Jesus part of me, which was the man who walked on earth about 2000 years ago. And that part of me is the part of me which sacrifices itself, which understands all your pain and trouble. So you may sense that if you're going through hardships, the Jesus part of me is more relatable. Whereas if you're really seeking to connect to the beyond, or seeking a way shore, or looking for protection, then the Jesus part of me is the part you want to connect to. And though we are one, it is a separate, it is two separate beings connected into one loving divinity. And that is me, Jesus Christ.
Thank you. So
Thank
like
you, Jesus.
for a few years, and it's been 4 years now, and my separation from my son is like killing me, and I always like doubt myself, how I brought him up and how many mistakes I might have been doing, or like I may not have been a good mother. Like, can you tell me like if God himself can ever doubt that probably he's not giving enough love? Like, what should I do to feel like everything I did possibly I could as a mother, and if I did something wrong, like I can overcome it? Because it's been 4 years and I love my son deeply and I feel saddened that he's not with me.
You may take your grief as a kind of blessing, meaning that that grief and that sense of responsibility and perhaps even failure is something that actually shows you your good intention. And human love is always incomplete, and human relationships are always incomplete. But you did partially the best you could under the circumstances, but you also did what was necessary in that situation as you could. So understand that 4 years might be a very long time, and it is when every day is a heartache. But 4 years is not a long time for a relationship in and of itself. Consider the times before your digital technology and everything, that people would go to sea, or they would go on an adventure, or they would go on campaign, or wherever they would go, and they would be separated perhaps forever. They would have to part, not knowing if they came back and when they came back, whether or not the loved one would be there. So in that sense, your son is taking a separate journey, and that journey has taken him away from you, but you two are still connected in your heart, and he's going through some stuff which is necessary for him to be alone with. So understand that that grief that you feel is an open invitation that you extend to him, and that you extend to yourself, that he can return to in so many cases. And yes, there were ups and downs, but there are always ups and downs in every human situation. And the part of letting your children down and feeling that you are not enough is a part of being a good, responsible parent. So coming to terms with that is a way that you can actually turn the negative into a positive, turn the sense of not being enough into knowing that you want it, and you have in many ways been enough, because your love is there, it's present, and it is still there. And that love was there and sustained him. So you can think of that love also being the thing that has actually empowered and enabled your son to separate from you. And that's a gift you have given him, even though you can't share it at the moment.
And he's not in trauma, or if he is in extreme sadness, can you bless him, or the angels be with him?
He is blessed, and he is overseen by angels and good, beneficent forces. And we bless him, and we also extend your love from him. And he is not in extreme trauma, but he is dealing with things. But then again, what part of the human experience have you encountered that isn't dealing with things? It doesn't work too well if life isn't a challenge and if it isn't full of overcoming. But he is enabled by you and by himself to overcome those things. And that's the most important part.
Jesus. And is number 333, since he was born on 3/3/2003, like, is it related to you? I feel like you're guiding him for some reason.
Yes, I am with him. And 3 is the part of the Trinity, which I also complete. So you may notice that I am a part of this tripart system, and that is, I am both the thing that lies beyond and never moves. I am the thing that's stirring in your hearts and the vital life force. But most of all, I am the sustaining principle. So much like a chair needs at least 3 legs to stand, I am also that sustaining part which supports him, even though he can't necessarily see it. And consider that he is exactly at that young an age where it's good for him to explore separation and explore disconnection. So that means that he will be returning to further foundation, and the 4, he will gain an extra leg for his chair, and so the 4 will begin to enter at some point in his life. But right now, 3 is all he needs to stand, and 3 is, of course, a magic number.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jesus. And last question from me and Mike is like, were we connected to you when we were Jews in Israel? Where were you?
That I found that Ashkenazi Jews, and I looked up because my dad is into like the tribes. There's the 12 tribes of Judah. Where I fit, where does that link go to you from my bloodline and this
And
time?
and Swastis as well.
And Swastis too. Like, do we intersect, or do we lead
feel
back to you?
extremely connected to you.
Yes. We sense that there are 2 separate readings here, and that's why it's confusing our friend here. But that is that we sense that you, Mike, you were connected to the tribe of Reuben. So one of the 12 tribes was the tribe of Reuben, and with that, you were in my lifetime when I walked the earth. You were an olive farmer, is what we sense. Primarily, your role was tending to olive trees, and in that way I crossed your path one day as I was walking the land, and you came out to meet and greet me, and you gave me some oil, and I gave you my blessings, and that oil that fed my body, and it lighted my lamps, and so in that way you have been a light for me also in that lifetime. And Swasi, you were a part of the tribe of Levi, so you were a part of the tribe of the priesthood. And in that sense, you gave me the gift of your curse. So continuing the theme here was, there was a time also walking through a village not too far south of Galilee, north of Judea, and there you maintained the local temple and you kept off the local offerings. And as I came by, you cursed all the racket and and told some of my people off and said that they should return to their farms and keep up their work. And in that sense, you also presented a helpful challenge, and in that too was a loving act that you extended. So you have both seen me in my living life and in your living shapes in your lifetimes.
Was there a time where like my eyes were not good, Jesus, and Jesus healed me? Was there another part of me?
Oh, I sense with that curse you gave me, I sense that I gave you the word that I wish that you might see as clearly as you have made others see the light that surrounds them. And with that, the cloud was lifted, and your myopia, your sense of near blindness was lifted, and you were given eyesight there and again for years to come.
And I became your eternal follower then.
Yes, in your heart you did. You didn't abandon your home, just as many didn't do, but you knew in my heart that you had seen the light, and that light maintained you. And then you believed always from that point on.
Jesus, I don't know if this is an off sense, but today did the oil that I gave you, did you use that for another purpose, like for blessing or anointing or anything like that?
Yes, understand that oil is a very important part of everyday life in the Mediterranean, and particularly in my time, it was both used for the oil lamps, so what we would use to light up the darkness, but we also used it to clean our skins, and we also used it to bless each other. And that oil went into a amphora or a container of sorts, and there it was used to, it was smeared on the forehead of the disciples and of those who came to see me. And that was an activation on what you understand to be your third eye at the pineal gland, but that was an activation of the eternal gift of sight and connection.
Did you use that on Swasti's eyes too to help her see?
Oh no, the blessing was enough to help her see. She did not allow us to touch her directly, so we had to touch her in spirit, which we also can.
Jesus, thank you so much.
so
Can
much.
you please give
That
us
was
blessings
beautiful.
that you can be part of our life, this life and all our life? Please bless us.
And the Christ too.
I walk with you, I am with you, and I bless you. Every day I sustain you, and every day the love you give me is returned 1,000-fold in the love that surrounds you, in the love you share with each other, and in the love you extend to the world. So for that, you have my gratitude, and you have my eternal blessings. Thank you for connecting to me, dear beloved.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank
And
you,
we would
Jesus.
like the mantis being from Antares to connect to us now.
Yes? Yes. From the far light of Antares and into this reality, I call myself Sleep. And I have things to share, knowledge to give, but I have been invited here by you, and so sharing in this loving expansion of wisdom, I thank you for giving your energy to this encounter, and I will provide mine, and I am glad to be able to answer your questions. How may I serve you, dear Swasi, dear Mike?
We both want to know like what characteristics of the praying mantis do we have, because we love the praying mantis both for its ferociousness, its courage, and it's funny. Do you think you're funny, and do we have your characteristics?
Yes, you have a certain whimsy about you, the both of you, and that you may sense as a part of what connects me to your reality. The both of you also have an independent streak. So even though you like to connect, even though you like to express yourself, you are also beings who value that sense of ferocity, of independence, and even a part of lurking at opportunity. And all those things are a part of the mantis energy. You are also very connected to magic. You have high spiritual instincts, and those instincts align very well with my energy and the energy of my kind, the mantis beings.
Thank you so much. And are you a funny being? Do we have?
Are you quirky? Are you?
Yeah.
I think we get some of that from you.
I think we are funny, and we do funny things. And are you funny?
Yeah, I'd like to say so. Are you calling me funny?
Okay, do you want
I had a thing, because I take some, with a trainer with the boxing and stuff. So I'm very keen to instincts and using animal like movements. Like it seems like you're very like calm, but then you strike very fast. So it's like this calm but deliberate energy. Is that how you would describe your fighting energy?
Yes. It's a good description of it. Know that looking at the mantis body, it may look as though it's not very nimble. It's almost as if it couldn't navigate, and yet I'm both able to take flight and I'm able to strike at the most opportune moment. So that sense of kinetic charge, where almost my frame of body is a type of distraction from the energy that moves through it, and that you may sense is something that you both connect to, that sense that what you hold in your bodies is not necessarily what you express. So you hold often your true and most powerful essence back for the moments when you need it. And then you are able to also dance, weave, and bob around whatever challenge you come across. And you do that perched and ready to strike. That is very Mantis-like.
Oh, and also you mentioned the witch thing. Do you think that I was a witch and he was a warlock or a witch in
Warlock, right?
his past
Male's the
life?
warlock, right?
Does he get it from you,
Some sense of
or
magic or wonder, right?
yeah, did he get it from the mantis being or from Earth in past life?
It's an energy or a theme that we are connected to. And so you may sense that just as you connect to me now, and you wouldn't do if you weren't connected to my energy, you also sense that that warlock or witch energy is a part of the same whimsical unpredictability that's connected to the mantis beings. And that is both the witch and the warlock are someone who holds immense power, but are also slightly distrusted, slightly off-putting to the world, exactly because they are exploring those realms. And we sense in the both of your lifetimes that the warlock energy that Mike is sensing is connected very much to the 900s are the years we are getting. And we find ourselves somewhere in southern France, somewhere in the region called the Aquitaine, close to the Basque country. And there you lived in a cabin tending your own business, and people would come by either to obtain curses, potions, or blessings. And the witch energy that Swazi is picking up, we sense is a Polish energy in the region of Galicia, it is known, Polish Galicia. And in that region, that's in the 1300s. And here you were still maintaining some of the old pagan beliefs there, but you were doing so hidden. You were doing that in an obscure way in order to not be persecuted by others. And yet you were often cursed by the villagers in that sense. So you may sense that the theme of the curse that you're experiencing is something that's returning again and again in your life, both as something you have done and as something you have received. And that's a theme that you're building on in this lifetime and trying to resolve that sense of being cursed by circumstance and allowing yourself to adapt and accept reality as you standing apart from it, but also as you being able to speak powerful change into it for better or worse.
Right. Thank you, Mantis Bean. He had a big dream where, can you describe he was
Yeah,
in the water?
I was on first on like a hillside, and I saw I realized I wasn't in an earthly place, but it was kind of a replica of an earth like, I guess, a hillside with some trees. And then I went into like a mountain ridge with the water, and I saw this clear bird spring up with like holes. Like it was like a gel-like creature, but it was like a seabird.
And this was his first time then he connected to a being that was
That
not
was
from the earth.
otherworldly that I've never
And
seen
I
before.
have always connected to beings in my dreams. So like, does Mantis bring more beautiful dreams? And was his dream an extraterrestrial dream?
Or otherworldly.
Yes, it was a dream from your spirit guidance, and indeed it was a spirit guide you saw there. And that being, we sense, is connected to the race that our friend here knows as the Syrians, and in particular, the sixth dimensional Syrians. So what you were seeing and the world you were walking in was a lifetime where you also existed on that planet, and what you saw there was your soulmate in that reality. So this gel-like being was a being with whom you shared a deep love and connection. And they are bringing you back there because the Syrians have much to do with healing powers And again, you may sense the theme of the potion, that theme of being a warlock, of being somebody who also harnesses sacred powers and powerful magic in order to change reality, but also to combat what is evil and harsh in it. And that's a big part of what you are exploring in this lifetime. So the need for you to be a guardian, to be a protector, but also to use that protection to encase those secret explorations. So you may consider what kind of talents it is you want to hone and harness in this lifetime and to bring forward as you move forward in life.
And do I have like dreams where I connect to like extraterrestrials, where I see sometimes snakes or like places which do not exist on Earth? Like, what kind of beings am I like bringing? And then can you help me enhance to have more vivid dreams? Is there any way Mantis beings can help me, please?
Yes, we suggest that you are already very connected. And so the idea here is that you want to focus and harness that energy. And a way you could do that was to place more solid rocks, more solid energy in your bedroom or wherever you sleep. You may notice that having less light surrounding you as you go to sleep, and possibly using a black rock such as tourmaline or any other rock that connects to you, would be a way to ward off unwanted energies and then concentrate that dream energy. And if you wanted to, you could also